Good evening, everyone, or good afternoon, or good morning, wherever you are in the world. So, today is the day that we have our live chat with Mr. Mark Bowen of IDLES. So, yeah, let's try and get him in. So, obviously, we're celebrating the release of their fantastic new album, Ultramono, which is just ferocious. Is probably the best way I can sum it up. If you've not listened to it, absolutely do, because it's incredible. So it looks like Bowen is around, so let's get him in. Is it working? That's the question. Let's see. Let's try that again.
Oi, oi.
Hey, Bowen, how you doing, dude?
Yeah, good. What's happening?
Just relaxing at work.
By a massive wall of cabs.
That's it, man. Where else would I be?
Exactly. That's good. Well,
So
I'm
how
in.
are things?
Yeah, good. Just
Yeah,
yeah, just weird releasing an album and then not really doing anything with it. That's kind of a
yeah,
weird.
sure.
Like no gigs, or we'd normally be like. I mean, we normally do like 2 shows a day whenever we release an album, so it's weird.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's right. Because on the Joy tour, you were doing the in-stores 2 shows in a day, weren't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was exhausting for you.
Yeah, I mean, I don't miss that, but like, it's just weird sitting at home and like, I don't know, can I move my camera? Does this work? Hold on. I mean, obviously I can move my camera, but like, sometimes I've made this like makeshift studio thing with
Ah, very nice.
and it's just like, I mean, look, there's a whole array of crap just everywhere. Um, so yeah, I'm just sat in an untidy room, wishing I was on a stage.
Yeah, no, I bet, man. I bet. So, first things first, let me get this. You are very well known for destroying amps.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you saw the video that I posted earlier, but this is your Custom 100, which we're in the process of fixing. I put that in a little video earlier. I heard a rumor that during Ultramono, so Dev was playing a Custom 200 on a lot of the tracks. And there's a rumor that it was you that broke the 200 and not Dev.
Yeah, I went into his little bass room, had a little 12 of the knobs, set it up the way I like it. The thing is, Art, right? Here's the thing: if it goes to 10, yeah, I mean,
You've
it can
got
go
to
to
do
10.
it.
It can go to 10 if it can't go to 10. Do you know what I mean? So they all go up to 10. The pedals all go up to 10.
Yeah.
Bass goes up to 10.
And with all the Death by Audio pedals as well, it's a recipe for disaster, obviously.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. There's warnings on at least 3 of my pedals that say don't turn it to 10. But then why would they make it that way? Tell me.
That's it.
More volume equals
through the
better.
amp.
Everyone knows that. Like the louder the better it is. It's absolute guarantee.
Yeah, man. Cool. So we're going to take some questions from the people that are watching. I've actually got one that was sent to me earlier today that I wanted to ask you, which is a bit of a weird one. Would you rather be a duck-sized horse or a horse-sized duck?
I think a duck-sized horse.
Yeah, I would probably agree because it's kind of a terrifying prospect as well.
Yeah. Oh, can the duck still fly? I mean, is it? Because I mean, that'd be pretty sick. But like, you'd just be way too big. Like, no, I reckon a cute little horse-sized duck. Is that no, whatever it is. Tiny little miniature horse.
Yeah.
Like, oh, look at the horse.
Good answer. I like it. Okay, well, I'll take that answer back to the person that asked it.
Okay, so we've got a question coming here. What is your favourite song off the new album?
Ooh, changes every day. I think until I hear Rains, it's Kill 'Em with Kindness. But then I hear Rains, it Rains. But then The Lovers like got so many sick bits in it that's like they really just
that end section as well of The Lover it's just massive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a lot going on with the guitars on that one, so it's kind of cool hearing that.
Just a quick one I want to ask. Can you talk us through the rig you use on the album?
The rig I use. So I use a two high-watt custom 100s. Going into a 4x12 cabinet with creambacks in it, and then one going, and that's kind of like what I would call like my standard like sound. So it's like it's all the mids. There's a bit of treble since I moved to the EGC guitar. It's weird. It's like it just behaves completely differently to any of the Fenders. So it actually, to stop it sounding so dark, I put a bit of the treble in there. And then so that's kind of like my standard sound. And then I've got my like what I call the bass rig. So it's like high watt 100 going to 2x15. And they're two like JBL Sector speakers from the 60s. One of them's made of metal, I think.
Yeah.
So like basically, I got it off our sound engineer because it's just so sick. But it's basically so you get like this sub sound, but then you also get like thuds, so like almost like kick sounds. And that gets used loads all over the album. And then most songs it would be a Fender Twin as well, added in to like chop stuff up. Sometimes I used like a really beat up Princeton. And there was a Mesa Boogie Mark II as well. I used a lot, but they were always just as like kind of like an overtone kind of texture, like to get kind of different harmonic resonance, or like for example, I used the Princeton when I needed kind of a crappy garagey sound because the other are crazy high watts, so I need something that didn't have as much headroom. But like on all the time is the high watt 4x12 and the high watt 2x15.
Lovely stuff. That's that question answered, isn't it?
And then this thing here, this is what blows up your amps are. So actually, I can tell you right now specifically, this is what blows up your amps.
Yeah,
because
I've seen that one before.
Yeah,
I looked at it with disdain.
Like crazy filter sweeps. That's like,
and
if you've got a Death by Audio pedal on at the same time, it's gonna crazy.
All right, then. Let's see what other questions we have coming in.
Do I use presents? I've seen one there. Yes.
Oh yeah,
that is. I only really worked out what presents was on this album, but yeah, I do. I kind of have the MIDI kind of normal sound guitar. That's quite that I've got the presents quite timed up, but then the bassier one I kind of ran it back a little bit because otherwise it'll just sound like whenever I go really, really low, because sometimes I go like 2 octaves down in certain places and it needs to kind of sit back and sit amongst the mix.
Here's a good one. David Yao, obviously, of the Jesus Lizard, provided a lot of vocalizations on the album. How did that come about?
He got in contact with us on Facebook. He just said, hello, my name is David Yao. I'm from the singing group, the Jesus Lizard. He basically was blagging a ticket for a friend in Austin, And then a friend was like, the show was really sick, so he was like, oh, I want to come check you guys out. And then he like instantly became like one of the best friends that we've made on tour. Like he's so larger than life and so like just funny. Like his sense of humor is the best kind of sense of humor to have, especially when you're on tour. So he's our boy. And then both Dev and I, through relentless touring, and basically all we do on stage is scream, and with no singing technique, have completely lost our voices. So like, it didn't sound very good when we were in the vocal booth recording this new one. So so we got David Yao in, as he was the only other person we knew who could sing.
Yeah, that's amazing. That's a hell of a name to have on the record. Okay. What kind of slide does Bowen use for Gram Rock?
Whichever slide I find. So like I've gone through loads of different slides. So like I've tried the metal ones, I've tried the glass ones, all different thicknesses. Like so I've got a load of them, and like they get lost so easily. So it's whatever I find before we go on stage is what I use. But I think on the recording it was actually a ceramic one. But it's weird, like so I still play it on the Strat, but it basically on a different whatever guitar I'm playing, it'll react really differently because you're aware of my Stinkcaster Stratocaster that's like it's so beaten up, but the bridge is actually that high off, so like the action is like insane. It's like it's like a cello or something like that. And so that's what I play Gram Rock with. So it's really like you gotta really dig in, but I think that kind of adds to the sound.
Here's a good one for you. Who were your biggest inspirations back in 2009 when you started?
When we started, I think like Graham Coxon was always like a big influence on me because he plays like he's not very good at playing, but like sneaks in some really good playing. And I really admire that, being someone who's not very good at playing, but like I like that kind of style because it's easier than me getting good. Who else? Like I mean, Dwayne Dennison from the Jesus Lizard has always been like up there for me. Like he's kind of, I love the way he plays, like almost kind of like rockabilly, psychobilly kind of type stuff, but in this really like reserved way. It's not like over the top and kind of, flourishy or dramatic. It's kind of just used in a really like cool way. And so he was the early days. That was kind of big inspiration.
Yeah. Let's see what else we've got coming through.
Sorry, I'm trying to read all these messages. It's like
same.
Someone asked what pedals do I use in Reigns. Is that correct? Did I see that?
I think so. Something like that. Yeah.
I use the Pog. And so basically me and Dev swap around on that song. So Dev's playing kind of a guitar part on a bass, so the digga digga dig digga digga dig digga digga dig, and he's really EQ'd quite trebly, and then I'm the womp womp womp, and I think it's the Pog, and then there's like something that I've forgotten. Hold on, let me have a look. Oh yeah, no. So I use the reverberation machine. So this thing here, by Deaf by Audio, but I actually don't have a lot of reverb on it. It's the altitude, which is like the overdrive, but it's this really like blown out, like warm kind of like, but it's quite dark. So it helps the womp kind of sit in that dark subby space I was talking about earlier. And that, I think that's it.
And that's that.
Yeah, just go through. So I'm slowly opening up the filter, so it goes like.
Yeah, it sounds truly sick. Okay, I had a really good question just popped up a second ago and I missed it. Why didn't you become a dancer?
I think you can get away with not having any skill being a guitarist. I think it quickly becomes obvious when you lack coordination if you're a dancer. Whereas at least if I lack coordination and I'm doing something else at the same time, it looks like both can fail. So like my dancing can be crap, my guitar playing can be crap, but at least I'm doing both.
And the effort, the effort is always 110. So,
Yeah, that's it.
let's see what we've got coming here. Right then. Obviously, aside from not playing 2 shows a week, how are you finding this release week compared to like Joy's release week? Are you still keeping busy in the same kind of way or in a different way?
It's weird. Like we're just having to focus on the things that we can do. So like actually we're doing a lot of writing and working out the next album. I was talking to Tim from our label today about that, like about how it's actually quite an interesting time to be able to do that, because you can kind of react to what's going on in the moment. It's kind of like, rather than reflecting on it. Not that I particularly enjoy writing in a reactionary kind of way, but it's something that's new and interesting. So that's kind of where we're at the minute. We're just kind of laying down some album 4 vibes.
Yeah, awesome.
Yeah, it's cool.
Never resting. That's you guys.
Yeah, well, it's cool. I think if we did, we would just, we need to keep up in everyone's faces.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, this is quite a cool question. What's your favorite album released so far this year?
Probably Pigs. I think Pigs. I can never say it the right word. Pigs times 7. That's like my go-to running exercise album. I love it. I love their like nods to certain like 70s and 80s even, like heavy metal act, but also within this kind of like vaguely psychedelic kind of like just heavy rock kind of sound. It's cool. There's a whole scene of bands up in the Northeast at the minute that are really like just got this like new kind of heavy music that hasn't paid attention to anything that's going on in the rest of the UK, which it's always way more exciting when stuff like that happens. So yeah, they're the ones for me.
I'm still trying to scroll through some of these questions. I'd agree that album is particularly incredible. Listened to it quite a lot.
It's called Viscerals, by the way, if anyone's.
Yes. That's the one. I know the answer to this, but someone said, "Why are you always in your underwear?" Or I know why you're not in your underwear anymore. Someone said, "Why are you always in your underwear?"
It actually came about because I accidentally wore really thick wool trousers, two big ones, and I got way too hot and sweaty. So I ditched them, and then I realized that I didn't have a soaking pile of clothes to deal with to put it back on the van. So I was like, sick, I'm just going to do this. So that's why I wear pants, is that when you're sat in the back of a van, if you get into like the back of the van at like 2 o'clock in the morning, everyone else is sat in disgusting wet clothes, where I'm commando because I've ditched the pants, but I am now wearing dry, comfortable trousers, which is a joy whenever you've got like a 2-hour van drive.
Yeah. How did Jamie Cullen come to play on the record?
We met him while we were recording. So the Mercury Prize last year was like in smack bang in the middle of us making the album, and he was just like really like genuine and like really interested and like very enthusiastic and like just sick. Everything that IDLES is basically, and we wanted to have like this kind of misfit bunch of people involved on the album because we wanted it to be like a community on the album, and then we needed like the album was like we kind of like written it in sequence, so we knew it was kind of a bit full on.
Yeah.
So we put this gap after anxiety, and we were like, right, we need to stick something in there that's gonna like center people, give you a little moment. And then we were like, oh fuck it, let's just have Jamie Cullen play some sweet piano music. No one did. Someone compared it the other day to "Lick My Love Pump" by Spinal Tap. I don't know whether that's like, have we been that audacious? Have we actually become Spinal Tap by having this ornate piano piece? But at least we didn't call it that, eh?
Yeah, you've got that going in your favour, I guess. What was it like working with Kenny Beats?
Amazing. He's just this like, again, like just really enthusiastic, really interested, and also really like intuitive. He's kind of, he's just very good at knowing what you're thinking and also like dealing with the different members of the band. Like, we're all very different people and respond and react in very different ways. I guess it's no secret that Joe is incredibly impatient in the studio. So like he's just very good at dealing with all of us, each of us.
Yeah. A lot of people asking about collaborations. Obviously, you had a lot of collabs on this album. What about future collaborations? Is that likely, or?
I think they're on the cards. I think there was some collaborations that maybe didn't make it onto this album that could see the light of day in a different iteration. I think we're going to be doing some interesting things with the album, I think, as it progresses in its life. So I'd watch that space. But yeah, it's like I don't know. I'm always a bit. I personally am a bit dubious about collaboration because I think that there's always just a weird vibe because you're sharing something that's very like idiosyncratic with someone else, and it can just feel. Yeah. And also, like, you know, we're already a pretty democratic within the band IDLES. That it's like you already have to concede a lot and work with other people, and there's too many cooks spoil the broth sometimes, I think. So
yeah.
But I'm not saying we're not going to do collaborations. Our next album's probably just going to be all collaborations because we can't.
How did Warren Ellis get involved?
He just turned up at the studio one day.
Like, oh, really?
Like
just shouted, "Hey!"
Yeah, he's like, "All right, mate." He literally walked. So I was like sat on the phone, and he just walked in, passing, like, "You all right, mate?" And I was like, "Oh, you all right, dude?" Lee was making cookies. He was like, "Can I have a cookie?" "Thank you, mate." And then he just sat down. He sat down with us, and we like played him the album, and he was like, "Cool." And then Joe was like, "Do you want to be on it?" And he was like, "Yeah, all right." So we got him in the vocal booth, and he just he shouts "Hey" on grinds. That's it.
Yeah.
Everyone thinks he plays saxophone. Colin Webster from Sex Swing plays saxophone.
Right.
Warren Ellis does not play saxophone on our album. I wish he did.
Next time.
That would be sick. Maybe that's the next album. Who knows?
Okay, let's see what else we've got down here.
Oh, I like this one. What other bands apart from IDLES would you like to be in?
Oh, that is a good one.
Ooh, I would like to be. Oh, Sun. Oh, yeah, 100%. Like they just play like one note, hold it there for like 20 seconds, and it's the best thing in the world. Have you ever seen them live?
Yeah, a couple of times, yeah.
Like,
it's a full body experience.
Yeah, we share a sound engineer. Christopher Lard is our sound engineer, is their sound engineer as well, and I think they get to like 132 dB, and the loudest we've been we were 126, which is still really loud, but like 132 is like, I think it's like 5 times louder. Like,
yeah.
I mean, it's insane.
Wiz was telling me that when they played, I can't remember if it was in Bristol or Manchester on the last tour, that parts of the ceiling was falling down.
Yeah. They killed a load of pigeons once. They like, there was like a flock of pigeons or something like that on the roof, and like after the show, the guy came out, was like, "There's loads of dead pigeons on our roof." So that's the vibe. I want to be that is capable of doing such things, but wouldn't, would check whether there's pigeons on the roof. I'm sure they've checked whether there's pigeons on the roof every gig after that. Like,
just have a quick, send someone up to check it out. Let's see what else we've got.
What made me choose the EGCs? I saw a thing on Instagram, and someone described it as an angry piano, like sounding like an angry piano, and I was like, okay, that's for me. And they don't sound like guitars; they sound like something else. It's friggin' insane. But I've still got a soft spot for Fenders. I'm using my Mustang 90 at the minute.
Yeah, cheers.
That's become my real like lockdown guitar. There's just a warmth and a garagey vibe that comes from it that the way I've set up my ADC just don't get. So definitely still a place for them.
What is your favourite show you've ever played?
What is favourite show we've ever played?
Yeah.
I think probably Rough Trade in Brooklyn. I think either one of the New York shows. I think New York's always like,
yeah.
It's just, I don't know. There's just a vibe there that fits our vibe, and it just kind of like is sick. So I think there. I mean, the Barras is always sick as well. Like Glasgow's just nuts. Yeah, one of those two. I can't pick.
Yeah, that's a sweet one. Where are we?
Oh, someone's just mentioned the Empire. I mean, the Empire was pretty sick as well. God, sick. Ramsgate Music Hall was great, but it's like way too small on that stage. They've got that weird, like stretchy microphone thing where it comes in from above.
All right, I've not been there.
Yeah, it's weird. It's like this. I think it might be like 150 cap room.
Yeah,
we're like filled, and like the stage, you're barely up. It's cool. Like it's an interesting show, but you not much room for thrashing about.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. I mean, the stage isn't necessarily your spot, though. You tend to be in the crowd most of the time these days.
Yeah, but the crowd was literally like, it was like a terrain of people.
a terrain. Is that a proper measurement?
I believe you got there's sardines packed like sardines, and then there's terrain after that.
What? Anything after that, or do we end at terrain?
We end at terrain, I think.
Okay, that makes sense. Okay, well, we'll take a couple more because I don't want to take up your entire night. So let's get 2 more questions in.
Guitars after you smashed yours on the live lockdown gig. I'm actually trying to put that guitar back together. It's my new challenge. I'm gonna like try and get it all pieced together and make it live again. I mean, most of our other guitars are all smashed to pieces and put back together, so why not this one?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of them have gaffer tape on. Usually when I see you, hold them all together.
Wood glue, staples.
Yeah.
Wherever we find.
All right, then. Let's do one last question before we bid Mr. Bowen a farewell. See anything you like?
Some of them are just a bit funny. Hold on, I'll go through them really quickly. Am I interested in learning any other instruments? I am trying to learn this at the minute, which is a Arturia micro brute. So I'm getting my head around using synths and stuff like that. I've got a few cool sounds out of it, and I'm trying to like get up to speed with sequencing and things like that, and also using MIDI. What was your experience? You
think that'll feature more in idle stuff in the future?
I think it'll be in the background, definitely, and also like it's we used it quite a bit. Not quite a bit. There's stuff on Ultra Mono that I did that was kind of like synthy stuff. It's kind of in the background, or like with the drums. So it's definitely something I'm going to be doing a good bit more.
That's great.
Have I ever heard of Fontaine CC? Yes. Heard with them twice. Do you think I'm going to die on the first mosh pits after COVID? I reckon they're going to be pretty awesome, to be honest. Other than Calvin Klein, or are they your go-to? I'm currently wearing IDLES pants. Let's see right here. IDLES logo. So check that out. Let's see. Why are you always tuning between songs to use those in tuning? Sometimes, like we use, I use drop D a fair bit and open D on the occasional song, but I always tune in between songs because I play really heavily and smack the guitars out of tune all the time. Usually push short side guitar so I can dance my ass off to simple ass riffs. Yes, sprint ankles forever. That is the future. Dance your ass off, simple ass riffs. That's it. Favorite upcoming artist? I'm really into Sinead O'Brien at the minute. She's going to be supporting us on our upcoming tour. She's sick. Everyone should check her out. Josh Homme, or hear me out, Josh Homme and Joe Talbot. Josh Homme or Joe Talbot? Josh Homme. What was your first gig I went to? Radiohead. 1997 in Belfast somewhere, I can't remember.
That's a great first gig.
Yeah, no, my mum and dad are really cool. So I was really, I was never like subjected to the Bay City Rollers or any Radio 2 nonsense. It was all really sick stuff. Okay, but here we are. That's good time. Slaves. That almost certainly could happen. Well, there's a lot of people on here, isn't there? How do you guys come up with your lyrics? There are a lot of callbacks to pop culture. Yeah, I mean, that's basically what we do. We're very lazy songwriters. I don't know if anyone's read any of the reviews recently, but yeah, we just like, cut and paste bits out of Guardian articles and any song that made it to #1 recently. Stuart Lee, we just like mimic Stuart Lee often. Yeah, it's all that. Barely any thought into anything that we do. I'm joking, Logan. Okay.
I'll be quoted in a tabloid tomorrow. We're just really fucking lazy.
Yeah, well, we are. It's fine. We're down. People want to say we are. I guess we must be. Would you accept a guitar duo between you and Jack Black? Yes, but I would have to just not play. I'd just be like, okay, you win. Idols and Mirror Massive. I mean, that would be sick. Will the piano go live? Yes, definitely. We're going to bring Jamie Cullen with us on tour. He's definitely up for that. So many songs we'd like to cover Russell's from. I'm not going to tell you what they are because it's better to keep them as a surprise. What's the most embarrassing you loved in your early teens? That's such a good question. I don't know. Like, I mean, I don't think any band is embarrassing. That's the thing. Like, I liked The Offspring. They're not embarrassing. I did used to really like Hard House.
Say that again.
I used to like listening to like Hard House and trance.
All right, yeah.
And like, but I again, like, that's not embarrassing. That's sick. Yeah, I mean, it doesn't make any sense with regards to our music. Maybe Hard House played a big role in Ultra Mono. Actually, there we go. Rains is a Slipknot vibe to it. Can we agree? I mean, that's sick. If that's true, that's sick. I did actually discover Slipknot for the first time when we were making this album. So there we go. I think that's all the questions. I mean, if there's more at the bottom, I don't know.
Yeah, that's some good questions at the end.
Sick.
Cool. Well, Bowen, it's been an absolute pleasure as always to catch up and to ask questions and hear your wonderful answers. So thank you very much for joining us. And I'm sure we'll be in touch again soon.
Sick.
Nice indeed. Take care of yourself. Thank you everyone for tuning in and see you all soon.
Bye.
Yeah, man. Bye.
How do you leave this?
I have no idea. We'll figure it out. I got it. Bye.
Bye.